Welcome to the session on applications of machine learning. In this session, I will be going through only the applications that are live on the machine learning section. So, let us go on to the slide. There are 9 major applications which I will be explaining here. The first one is image recognition, speech recognition, medical diagnosis, statistical arbitrage, associations, classifications, predictions, extractions and regression. Coming to the first one, image recognition. We are all familiar with image recognition, that is one of the application and most common applications of machine learning. Just like I said, the Facebook part, the Facebook which is using deep face. What is happening when you are uploading a photo, you are tagging a face or they are suggesting you to tag a friend's face. So, this is one of the application of image recognition here, which is most common applications of machine learning. We identify the objects, persons, places and digital images etc. Here the popular one is of course the automatic friend tagging suggestion. Here Facebook provides us a feature which is using face detection and recognition algorithm. So, the project name here is deep face. So, this is one of the application. Moving on to the next, speech recognition. It is search by voice and it is a popular one where the process of converting the voice instructions to text is being done. They are capturing our voices and the instructions and it is being converted into a form of text. Now, the model that is being used here or the most common model being used here is hidden Markov model. Why hidden Markov models are being used? It is because of better accuracy. That is, we get the accurate result or the voice that is being captured will give the exact text data format. So, this is one of the reasons why hidden Markov model is being used. Now, for this we are using the speech to text or computer speech recognition algorithm and the examples are Siri, Alexa, Cortana, all this. This is the main categorization of speech recognition. Moving on to the next, medical diagnosis. Here we diagnose the diseases, that is we use a 3D model, we build a 3D model. In the cases of brain tumor, we predict the exact positions of the lesions in the brain and it helps in finding the brain tumors and other brain related diseases easily. That is a 3D model, it helps us to identify the lesions which is available in the brain or the brain tumor, where it is available, the location, the size, all these factors helps us to easily find out or identify the brain tumor location. And what is exactly happening here is we are giving certain inputs. The inputs would be the symptoms, lab reports, test results, DNA reports etc. These are the inputs which is being given to the 3D model and the output would definitely be the prediction of the disease, whether the brain tumor is there or not there, is it a serious kind or is it something which needs to be operated or is it something which can be subsidized with the help of medicines. So, this is how it is working out. Now, the major part here is mining of the records, okay, the patient record, which is not easy because when we mine or we collect the data of medical data of the patients related to cancer or brain tumor or any such kind of serious diseases, the data will be available in huge number. Collecting these data and formatting them as the previous techniques explained, it is not an easy task. Once it is done, we have to analyze and put forward them in such a way, so that this will help us to predict the future of certain patients as well. Mining of records to learn which future patients will respond to the treatment accordingly. So, we will be able to analyze which patient will have this so and so diseases based on their symptoms or the previous records, and if this patient or any particular patient will respond to the medical diagnosis and the treatment done. So, this is what is happening in the case of medical diagnosis for machine learning. Coming to the next, that is statistical arbitrage. This is mostly applied in finance domain, where examples such as banking sectors, where you are taking a personalized customer care, you take the low cost for a greater revenue, means you want a personalized customer care for the customers. They all require lower cost budget thing, and definitely on the other side we need greater revenue. So, for all these kind of things also machine learning is applied. It gives a better compliance. For example, I can say fraud detection, or we can say if we are focusing on a particular account holder or targeting a account holder. So, in the case of fraud detection, we have two types. One is rule based and definitely the fraud detection technique. Rule based technique is definitely, it goes applies basically on the rules. It goes in a sequential manner only. You can detect fraud only in the sequential way. There is no other techniques. It is a simple technique. It is time consuming, and it has only one or two methods which will help us to find if there is a fraud in the online transaction or any kind of detection. But in the case of main fraud detection using machine learning based technique, what happens is it helps us to identify the hidden fraud being conducted. If there was a small change in the pattern of fraud detection, if there is a small minute change, we will be able to capture it. And of course, the speed is much more faster, the results are much more accurate, and there are a lot of classification or various techniques which will help us in machine learning to detect a fraud detection. So, that is why fraud detection related to machine learning, it is very important, because we will have lot of techniques, and it is not time consuming, because it goes through many different procedures to find out if there was a fraudulent being committed in this particular area. Now, for this definitely the feed forward network is something which is being used in fraud detection. Feed forward network comes with the artificial neural network, because it has a pattern, it goes through one pattern only, and like I said, once the procedure is done, there is a hash value created. This hash value goes as the pattern for the second transaction, and if the hash values matches or it is of the same pattern, it is a relevant transaction, otherwise it is not. Now, the stock market is also using this kind of trending pattern. So, this is what is specified about the statistical arbitrage. Now, the learning associations, we learned about the market basket analysis. Here we are analyzing the behavior of the customer. For example, you take Amazon, you take Flipkart, you take Alibaba, all this they are taking the machine learning techniques. Why they are taking the machine learning techniques? Because they want to know the patterns of the customer, the pattern of buying, the customer, what type of customer is interested in what type of product. So, all this kind of relationship between the variables or the customer and the product, all this is analyzed and understood using this market basket analysis. So, here big data technologies are using Hadoop and Spark for this kind of learning association. And yes, there are two types of learning associations here, for product recommendation and for improved customer service. Product recommendation we are all familiar, because in Amazon when you are buying a particular product, what happens? They will give you a notification regarding a similar product or a product which is much cheaper than the previous one. So, the customer will identify whether this product is required or this product is much better. We can go through the reviews, there would be lot of suggestions regarding a particular product. So, this is something which is happening related due to the learning association. Now, improvised customer service. What happens when you are using Swiggy or any such applications? They are asking you to give your feedback. The case of Swiggy, they are asking you to rate regarding the food that you ordered as well as the delivery person. They are asking you to give a feedback. So, this is all something which helps them to improvise and improve their application. So, this all comes under the learning association category. Now, classification, definitely emails, where we are getting mails like spam or not spam. This comes under the classification. Some important mails are marked under the important category, ads are going under other category, and the emails which are not relevant to us will go under spam. Now, the bank loan applications, they are also using this classification. How? They are taking a customer. When a customer is applying for a loan, what happens is they take that customer's previous history, whether the customer had loans, if he had, did he pay the loans on time, what is his current balance, will he be able to pay the loan, current loan, if the loan is given by the bank. So, all this categorization or classification comes under this technique. Bank loan is also applying this technique. Now, every information is being taken, whatever when we are analyzing regarding the emails or any the bank loan applications, all this comes under the previous history or previous records. The previous records are taken regarding the customer, and then they are analyzed or taken into consideration for further steps. Now, prediction. Like I have said, prediction is nothing based on the classification itself, because we take in some data, we consider some factors, and then we the product is able to predict the availability of that data. I mean, the prediction is accurate or not, that is what we get to know. For example, the sales outcome report, we are using CRM and different kinds of applications here. Softwares here, what is they are doing? The data is being feeded, the data are being updated each time. For each sales, all the cost estimation is being done, the actual price, if there was a discount provided, all this was given, all this is given inside the software as a data input. And what happens at the end? We get the graphical report or any kind of report of the particular salesperson, or even we'll be able to identify the final output of that company, that is the sales of that company, that target was it achieved that year. So, this all comes under the prediction. With this, they are able to predict for the next year also, so that they will understand whether they have to increase their budget or increase the target of the sales people for the better income of next year. So, this is all comes under the prediction categorization. Now, extraction. Extraction is another important feature, because to get a desired data from this huge amount of database, it is not possible. So, basically it is a separation of the desired data or information. Here the data can be categorized in different ways. So, but what we require is structured data from unstructured data. So, basically extracting informative data or desired data in the form of structured data. Now, input is mostly in the form of document, and the output here is mostly in the form of Excel or in any kind of tabular form. This is what is happening in the extraction process. Now comes the regression technique. Here we are using a statistical relationship, that is basically the variable, the relationship between two or more variables. We calculate the closest outcome using the algorithms, and you optimize the parameters. You take the parameters which is required and you delete or neglect the parameters that are not required. That is basically refining it, and you alter the input variables in such a way so that you get better results. So, statistical relationship between two or more variables, it is possible to calculate the closest outcome. It is used to optimize the parameters and the alteration of input possible for the better results. Now, other applications, there are other applications such as retail, that is the forecasting of the upcoming sales, that is one of the other application for machine learning. Then it is used in travel industry to know the pricing, that we know booking.com, then there is ibb.com, there are many other, makemytrip.com. What happens is, when you want to know the pricing of a particular hotel or a particular destination, you get the pricings of the others offered too, not only of the Make My Trip, but you get of goibibo.com, you will also get of some other relevant companies. So, this is all they are using the machine learning techniques, so that we can get the prices much cheaper, and we will go for the cheaper one, and we will also see, we will cross clarify between them to identify which one provides us better. Now, healthcare, like the early diagnosis of brain tumor or cancer, then some research work can be done earlier itself. Then you can even manufacture certain products. Drug industry is also using machine learning for that, for their medical purposes. Now, in finance, definitely the fraud detection, and you will also get the updated customer details. And in social media, which is like Facebook, Instagram, they are all using machine learning techniques to get the customer information. Now, behind all this, we can also I can also explain you about the Google self-driving car. Tesla, one of the famous car manufacturing companies, they are actually on the self-driving mode. For just like Google, they are also implementing their self-driving mode car. They are also using machine learning. Another one is Google Translator. We are all using translators, right? If you don't know a language, you are typing in your English or any familiar language, and you are getting a translation for what is required. What is happening behind that? The same here, machine learning technique is being used, and sequence to sequence machine learning algorithm is being implemented here in the Google Translator. So, actually, in short, I can say on day-to-day basis, we are all related to machine learning techniques in one way or the other, intentionally or unintentionally. Everything happens related to this machine learning technique. So, with this I end this session. We have completed 4 lessons and chapter 1. See you soon for the next chapter. Thank you.